transmitted from person to person, a lie that we would later learn was spread by China with the help of the World Health Organization. Now they've gone beyond lying. They're so brazen in their efforts to control us that when the hypocrisy is blatantly obvious, they simply say that social gatherings for social justice, although risky, are worth the risk. In fact, on June 5, about 1,200 of the country's top public health experts, who up to that point had been telling us that remaining inside and staying away from other people was the only way to stop the coronavirus from spreading, wrote a public letter essentially endorsing the widespread protests. In this letter, they said that they were perfectly fine with the protests. In fact, they wrote that racism is a greater threat to Americans than the coronavirus. As public health advocates, they said, we do not condemn these gatherings as risky for COVID-19 transmission. We support them as vital to the national public health and to the threatened health specifically of Black people in the United States. Over the course of a few weeks in the United States, it became effectively illegal to play catch with your son outside, go to church, or open your business, but perfectly legal to loot, riot, and throw bricks through windows. Suddenly, it was frowned upon to stand in front of your state's Capitol building holding a sign reading "Open Up," but it was perfectly acceptable to put on a ninja outfit, throw milkshakes at people you disagree with, and assault police officers whose only goal was to make sure the protests remained peaceful. The left allowed social distance to give way to social justice. So, my advice? If you're going to head outside during what remains of this pandemic, be sure to pack a picket sign with a Hachette handle, some bricks, and a few Molotov cocktails. If you don't take these precautions, someone might think you're breaking the law. A liberal's paradise. In some cases, rioting in the streets hasn't been enough for the liberal mob. Neither has looting, burning down buildings, or assaulting members of the National Guard. In some cities, the mob has attempted to take the streets too. In Seattle, it worked. There, on June 9, a group of militant leftists overtook a 6-block section of the city and claimed it as their own. In a statement, they announced that you were leaving the United States. The Seattle Police Precinct was turned into the People's Precinct. In this Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, first known as CHAZ, before it was changed to CHOP for Capitol Hill Organized Protest, we have seen a small example of how far the left will go to satisfy the progressive extremists and surrender our cities to them. Even as groups like Antifa, a pseudo-military organization of anarchists and leftists who run around in all-black garb with backpacks full of light weaponry, have moved in and conquered large swaths of our cities, most of our liberal leaders refuse to criticize them. Whether they agree with them or are afraid of being called racist, fascists, or even worse, beneficiaries of white privilege, they've allowed chaos to spread throughout the United States of America. When Jenny Durkan, the Democrat mayor of Seattle, was asked on June 11 how long she thought the autonomous zones would remain in her city, she reacted like she was at Woodstock. "I don't know," she said. "We could have a summer of love." Well, Jenny, perhaps you might want to get together with Mayor Bill de Blasio's wife, Shirlene McCray, who said that New York City without the NYPD would be nirvana. But do us a favor, won't you? Leave your police protection behind. So, you have a right to ask, if these people don't want to live in the United States anymore,